Well, what does this represent? I mean, you being a lot of MBA students, what do you think this looks like? For me, it looks like life today. Before we talk about, I think we all agree, like, life is like this today, and, let's see how we went there. I mean, did we ever think, how did we end up here? Like, why are we here and what are we trying to do? Let's go back a bit, 10 years or 15 years back the line and say, we are in our 10th class. Like, when we are in our 10th class, our parents walked up, our teachers walked up, like, this 1 year is going to speak about all your school life, and this 1 year is very important. Like, this year is all important, and then once you pass this, you're going to go to a high school, and or plus one, life is going to be much better. We all bought the idea. We by-hearted, not studied. We by-hearted at 10th class boards, passed them, got good grades, came to this good inter-colleges, and then, so I came into this inter-college. College started at 7. It goes till 8 or 9 in the evening. Before I realized what I'm doing in life, 2 years went by. People said, crack IIT, your life is sorted. If you don't study in IIT or NITs, your life is nothing. So you need to be there, do everything and anything to be there. Bought the idea, studied my best, did my best. Well, I missed few, but I got into a decent engineering college. But once we get into engineering colleges, say from the movies we see like Rande Basanti or Happy Days in South, we all thought life is going to be amazing in engineering, right? By the time we come to a new place, settle down there, your first year is over. Like, the jolly period of your college is over. And then your HOD walks into, you go to your department, he says like 3 years. These 3 years, just forget everything, study, get good grades, life is all yours. You have a flying wings outside. Companies are waiting to recruit you, you'll have the life you want. We bought the idea. We studied, we bunked. Well, under a lot of pressure with a lot of crazy exams, we went through. We finished our engineerings. And then, this comes in, MSc comes in, the recruiters take us back and they say this call this training period for 6 months. They say like, give up what you studied in your college. That's all outdated. This 6 months training, focus, you'll have good placements. Well, we went to the training, we got into a company, we were given a project. Your project manager was in like, say, 3 years. Forget everything, focus on the job. If you perform this 3 years extraordinarily well, you'll have a life, you'll be here, you'll have a car for yourself, you'll have a bungalow, you'll have a sorted life. We bought the idea. We were working like, in this rat race, we were doing a lot better. And then 3 years are done, you're there, you actually are there where you want to have the stand of life. And then what happens is, you're already the manageable age. You get married and then you have kids and they come to 10th class and you keep saying the same thing. We all at the end of the day got stuck in this life where we are trying to make our lives better, increase the standard of lives, and that's the purpose, right? Studying so hard or, getting in this college, that's the purpose, right? And we're all there, right? So, but my question is is this all life about? Is this all the life we are trying to do? Is this what makes your life happy? Because at the end of what we are trying to do here, we are trying to make our lives happier, right? So that's the same question I had, and this is the question which came up to me. Standard of life versus quality of life. Now this is important, we're all striving towards a standard of life, making a life better every day. But is the quality of a life increasing? That's a question, and that's the question I had. So now I'll take you back to my journey as in, it all started in 2011. I think if you all remember 2011, there's this great man who came up. I don't know if I strongly believe in ideas of it, but this man inspired me with one question. The question which struck might sound a bit absurd, but what I had a doubt was, this man was 74 years old when he went for an infinite hunger strike for a corruption-free country. The question I had was, this guy would hardly leave next 7 or 8 years on this land. If he's so concerned about the future of this country, like I'm 17 years, and I'm going to stay here for the next 50, 60 years. And how concerned should I be about this country? And that's the question he provoked me to think of. I thought, yes, I need to do my part in making this country a better place, and that's when I took up this, social life. So I finished my plus 2. That's a break I had, like say 4 months break before I joined my college. I said like, this is the time I need to put something, and they started calling my friends and said like, dude, let's do something about this. Lokpal is not about putting a status on Facebook or something. Let's go off streets, talk to people, explain them Lokpal, otherwise the movement will not sustain. Well, people laughed, people bullied. They said like, dude, let's chill, why do we really need to? You can't change this country, we need to give up. This country is, this system is too big to change. Well, after a lot of bullying, a lot of people, I found people because they came because they're my friends. They came through Facebook. They came because their friends are here. So we formed a team. We formed a few people. We called it Youth for Better India, which already exists, and we just started training. So I thought first is we need to train our people. Then we'll go hit the streets. Well, my parents didn't say anything because it was holidays. They said, do whatever you want to do in your holidays, but then you're going back to Bangalore after 4 months. I said like, fine. So then We started going to colleges, talking to people, explaining them what Lokpal is, started doing events, pulling people on the streets. But all these people at least know what Lokpal is and how this is going to help. Even if they don't know what the bill is and how this is going to exist, people came in. We were just on the streets, running around, pulling people. Over the next 3 months, all I knew is get up at 7 o'clock, go to a college, talk to students, explain them, take their support. So in 3 months, we spoke to more than 65,000 students, collected over 25,000 signatures, and submitted them to the Lokpal. And the word spread well because my city, coming from Andhra Pradesh, Vijayawada, which is an educational hub, forming an organization itself is nothing. There's no neutral youth organizations. All we have are political organizations. And the city I come from is one of the most politically violated cities. So people generally don't take up neutral platforms and build campaigns because that's a political threat, which I faced a lot of political threats. There were people calling up my dad and said, what's your son doing on streets? Why is he pulling out people on the streets? Where is this non-political movements coming from? Why are you doing this, that? He all said is this guy is going to Bangalore after 4 months, so I don't have anything to talk to him. And this guy is not a guy who's going to be here, so don't worry. Well, time passed, and I came to Bangalore, and I was blown away by the civil society it had. Coming from a city like a very tier 2 city, coming down to Bangalore, the kind of resources they had and the kind of ecosystem, the kind of civil society they had and how people help each other and build movements was amazing. So I went to Bangalore. I stayed my show in a couple of forums. And people knew us from social media and articles, and they read about our campaign, our signature campaigns. And then Anna came down in December to do a protest in Bangalore. People selected me. I said, okay, my work has actually been recognized. I actually got to work with Anna. When people said you can't do anything, at least I met a man who always I thought is an inspiration. And I thought, I'm actually doing something good about life. I'm actually, all the bully I went through, all the sarcasm I faced actually paid off. I was there. And then this happened. The Lokpal Bill campaign entirely was lost. People totally forgot of the movement. And that's when my people came back. I said, you don't waste your time. I said, this doesn't happen. And all people coming back and telling me, don't do this, don't do that. At least now go back, focus on your career. You need to do this, do that. And well, I was lost a lot. I was lost because, can't we really change? And where did it all go wrong? I thought the same thing, we didn't have enough information. There was a bill passed and people thought, okay, there was a bill in place and why do we need a Lokpal anymore? And then I started again, I didn't want to give up. We started a new organization with my friends called Rise. By the time I was networking with a lot of people, I built a team and a lot of them gave up hope because this movement went off and a lot of people said, dude, I think, I did enough. It doesn't, my time doesn't deserve this. I'll go on, I'll move on. And then this came into place. So we thought we need a fresh start. A few people who were supporting me and from different places, we all grouped up, formed a new organization. And then we thought this is all we need to do. All we need to do is make people think. If people think with the right information, they'll be smart. And we need to give them that information. And we based this organization based on that. We started campaigning about Right to Information Act. We were explaining people how we need to protect our whistleblowers and all of this. And we are doing a lot of policy advocacy. Not even policy, we are just Googling, reading, meeting some experts and taking back to my college students, and we are doing a lot of events. And then we thought, okay, information, we know how to get information from government, but how do we act this? So that's when we started Bangalore. It's a beautiful place with so many lakes, and over the time, all the lakes were just vanishing. So there's one of this 23 acres lake right beside our college, which we never know it's a lake. One day I was walking by the bus and then I realized it's supposed to be a lake. And it's all, weeded up and things like this. Then we started filing RTIs as in how this happened, who is responsible. Oh God. In the same government office, I had to knock 11 doors in 3 hours to get one paper out. And then give that paper to me. They said, I need to write a new form to get the paper, which will take another 3 days to come, which they could just give a Xerox out. But yeah, we did that. We went through the process. We struggled. Actually, students came out, when they thought, the information is mattering, when they're writing information, getting replies from the government, they actually saw they are capable of making change. They believed it. And then we thought, if government is not acting, we'll embarrass them by acting by ourselves. So our college students started driving, getting into a lake, cleaning up the lake by ourselves. We built a good team. We had people from engineering, doctors, all of them who were frustrated with their college lives. They joined us. But then in 2013, when I was in my third year, I was just starting off my third year, and a lot of my friends are in the final year, so thing happened, life happened. Finals are coming up, people have a lot of pressure to perform, to pick up a job, to find a life for their families, things like this, and it all went off. People were not able to come together. I was motivated enough. Not everyone, this is not everyone's priority, right? And I realized that. And when now people said I'm failing, I failed again, I realized I'm actually progressing. And challenges or failures are part of progress. If you're not having a challenge or a failure, you're not moving ahead. And I'm not happy for failing because I made peace with failures. I went through a lot and I made peace with failures. So, but the only question when people saw, when they said I failed, I didn't react, the question they now had me is, what's your impact? What did you different? 2 years you're here, spending every day on your social life, giving up all the other college and other things. What did you impact? Well, for me, the impact matrix was very different. My impact matrix is not how many lakes I survived or how much of country I changed. For me, impact is behavior. So I shared this one story called Project Little Hearts. So it's 30 students who worked 12 days in the month of May in Vijayawada to rescue child laborers and put them back in school. So Vijayawada summers are like what, 48 degrees. So people used to hit streets around 9 in the morning, go to the most rude places, the most harsh situations, meet people, drag students out and join them in school. So we managed to join 8 people in 12 days, 30 people put in efforts. Out of them, I think none of them survived in school. They all went back to the labor. But then the question of me is, when people lost their heart telling, what, we can't change. My solution, my point of view was not how many children you saved there. But my point is 30 people who never ever saw a child, but they all saw child laborers all this well but never reacted. But now 30 people are there stepping out their houses in 48 degrees summer, trying to save these guys, reading all the child policies across the globe, trying to find what's the right one. And this is what for me is a change. Now I can assure these 30 guys who are very personally attached to this movement will never have a child labor in their families, in their close circles or in their workforces. And if they see something, they'll not be silent when they can change it. So I think at least there are 100 people who are not going to accept child labor within their premises, and that's a big impact for me. And I always used to measure my impact that way. And then, this came in. That's the phase, that's the last semester of my college. That's a big question, what I'm going to do next. That's a big question in my family as well. What you're going to do next. And then I choose something really different. I choose to hang out with these guys who have the potential to make change. And they are these guys. When I said this, people laughed. Are you mad? You're an engineer. You have good GPA no matter what you did now. At least make peace with now and go back to your life. You have a family to look after and things like this. I said, there is a career here if you look smart, but I said these guys are not so bad. They look bad, they're portrayed bad, and our perception about them is bad. But if I ask you how many of you trust your politicians, how many of you trust your politicians? Not many, right? None of you. And how many of you think your governments can change your lives? We all say yes. We all say governments change our lives. But what is governments made of? These guys. Who are these guys? We send them. Why did governments come in place? Because we're all so busy in our personal lives that we can't do everything for ourselves. We said, okay, you represent me there, speak behalf of me, put a road for me, put a bridge for me so that I can go around to my office well. And if you don't ask these guys to hang out with these guys, how are you going to make sure they're all good? And these guys came from us. They come to your house before every 5 years and ask you for a note. After 5 years, after you vote, go to their house and ask what they're doing. And that's what that note will do. So when I said this, all they remembered about politics was this. It's all boring, it's all waste of money, time waste and everything. And then this is what I want to say, people, anyone who says that they're not interested in politics is like you're drowning in an ocean and you say you don't want to swim, or you're not interested in water. You're already there, you can't do anything with it. You need to make peace with it. So for me, politics is this, it's democracy, it's current affairs, it's important in life. So I went back to my hometown and started this organization called Vijayawada Needs You, where we wanted to engage young people in policy perspectives and political perspectives. We tried on these guys, bring them down, make them sit there, question them, make them answer. So when they're not ready to come down, what we started is we started conducting mock parliaments. So my city never had the concept of mock parliaments because we don't have any big institutes like you have in the cosmopolitan cities. So we started bringing young people, putting up debates, making sure media is covering them and raising the right questions through media, through politicians, so that when we do the next events, so these guys are obligated to come and sit because otherwise these guys are raising very uncomfortable questions for them. So that's how people started coming to youth parliaments, and politicians used to come and sit in the parliaments because they thought, these are the nice people, you be good to them, you answer them well, these guys will campaign for you, these guys will protect you. So I started going to parliament, I went to an MP of my neighboring constituency and said, I want to come down to Delhi, see how parliaments work and how all of you work. He said, are you crazy? I said, no, I have enough time. I'll pay for myself. I'll just be there. I don't want any job from anyone. I'll just sit down in your office and, do my research, give you output so that you can do better in the parliament. He said, if you want to come down to parliament. So from then, every parliamentary session I used to go to Delhi, take a small room in his office, stay there, work from there, give him inputs and meet a lot of other MPs from the party and used to give them a lot of material. So, and then we used to bring it down to, again, campaigns, all these empowered guys who are sitting and debating. I said, we need to also hit streets with the right ideas. And we used to take these ideas back to, politicians. We used to rise to speakers of the assemblies and MPs. We used to start creating report cards for them. So when I first started writing a report card for my state MPs, they were not so very comfortable. As in, what are you doing? So, but when we did a second edition, there were a couple of MPs who actually posted on their social media saying, this is my report card, people watch out. And I think I'm lacking a bit in my attendance, but this is because of this reason, but next sessions I'm making sure I'll attend the parliament well. So this is what we build. We build competition between MPs to perform well. So these kind of reports, not we just, a lot of organizations do, we did for our state. So these kind of things, people, what I realized is just that, so I just realized, it's not that politicians doesn't want to do something good. It's just that they don't have enough information. They don't have enough access. And all the people I saw who come to a politician office like, I come from this caste. I have this problem. You solve me. I'll stand by you. Or we go and threaten them. Or we go and lobby with them. But nobody actually goes and said, okay, you know what? I'm from this, and we are college students. We want to come and sit in your office and solve this problem we have. No, and then we point fingers. We thought we need to do that, and that's what we started doing. So then we started meeting our chief minister, our youth minister, starting giving a lot of youth policies. How do you engage youth in politics? We started pushing a lot of ideas. And thankfully, our state is now adopting a state youth policy very soon. So I think a bit of our part was there to get a bigger policy in place. So then I started going into international platforms. I started working with UN Interagency Network on youth development. I started working with Commonwealth Youth Council, a lot of other youth organizations across the country. So meeting this, that was the Prime Minister of Georgia, Ministers of Canada, Malta, First Lady, Jamaican youth minister. So we started meeting them. This small work in a small city gave me access to these guys. So I started again going, to attending the Commonwealth Youth Ministers meeting, UN Youth Envoy meetings, and started presenting the case study of VNU and how this could be replicated around. So and then I was hanging around with a lot of these politicians, and I made a good friends with all the young MPs who are below 30 years. And then we decided you guys should be the voice, because today if you take the parliament, 2.2% of the parliament is below 30 years at the time of elections. But in India, people below 30 years is 65% of our population. So that's when I started talking to these guys and said, you guys need to be a true voice. You are 2.2%, but you represent 65% of the country. So you need to be more active and do stuff for us. And I think the new political, I don't know what parties they come from, where they come from, but these guys are smart. They studied, they want to do something new, they want to go beyond the traditional politics. And these guys all turned up when a non-political guy from no political family, no money power, no muscle power, not going to make them in elections, called for a meeting in parliament. So that's what a new change is about. Then I started, recognition came in now. I know I'm here today talking, awards came in place. I'm taking the National Youth Award. But why am I doing all of this? I'm doing all this because I'm selfish. I'm selfish because I want my life, my taxpayers' money to all be used very well. We all pay huge taxes. If you all know how much government spends every day, can you guess? How much does the Indian government spend every day? A rough number. 900 crores a day. 900 crores a day. Today they're spending 900 crores, just imagine. All from our pockets. Government doesn't make money, they only spend money. And satisfaction. At the end of the day, I go home today, sleeping happy, telling, okay, I did my part for a better world today, and that's giving me immense happiness. And that can't be bought by anything. So this is how governments work, right? There are 4 ways of spending money. One, you spending on yourself. We give value for both the product and for the money, right? If I'm buying a pen for myself, I'll make sure the pen is economical yet very valuable. But if I'm buying a pen for, say, some of you, I would make sure the money is prioritized. I'll buy the cheapest possible pen and give it to you. If I'm buying a pen with someone else's money, I want the luxurious pen possible, right? That's how we all work. But if I'm spending someone's money on someone else, I don't give a shit about what's going to happen. I don't care how good it is. I like, hey, buy something and give it, man. Why do I care? And how does the governments work now? Whose money is government spending? On whom is it spending? So what incentive they have to perform well, achieve well, and do everything well? Not really, nothing much. So that's why we need to step in and say, you came to my home 5 years back and said, you asked for a vote. Now I'm coming to your house and asking this. You need to do this. So that's how we started functioning. And that's what we are trying to do now. And the last thing I want to put a question is this. We all talk so much about our fundamental rights. I deserve this, right to expression, right to equality. I have my religion, I have my rights. But how many of us ever spoke about duties? The same constitution gave us some fundamental duties as citizens of this country. None of us speak much about our duties to be served as an Indian, but we want all the rights and the liberty this country gives us. So I think that's where I want to leave this today. I would request you all to think about what are the duties we have as citizens before we demand for our rights. And thank you. Jai Hind.